Welcome to the beginning of what is sure to be another highly questionable week. What do you like, Bomani, today?
Told y'all not to trust the Falcons. Trust the refs even less.
Really? Vamos, papi.
How should Jerry Jones resolve his QB controversy?
It stinks to age in this league. Tony Romo got this job from Drew Bledsoe in the same way it appears that he's losing the job right now to Dak Prescott. Listen to Jerry Jones here after the game yesterday, after they beat Green Bay at Green Bay.
I think that what we're going to do is wait until the next Cards play. We'll look and see how we do. It is 2 weeks away, and Tony is getting better. And I was talking to a guy that was catching his balls, and he pulled his shirt up and showed me his bruises on his ribs. So he's throwing with some velocity out here. I'd hate to end up here with 2 winning quarterbacks and a tough decision as to who was going to win the game.
Oh, look at Jerry hitting it with that wink. Sorry, man, you got to trust the dude that's getting bruised up by Tony Romo's balls. Hey, man, Dak Prescott has been good through these 6 games. You know how many touchdowns he's thrown in these 6 games? 7 of them. He hasn't. And he's been good for a rookie quarterback. But the last time we saw Tony Romo play a full season wasn't that long ago, and he wasn't good. He was great. You give that guy what Dak Prescott has to work with that line and that running back, you have a chance to be great. With Prescott, you'll probably be pretty good.
That team is Super Bowl good. Period. That team is Super Bowl good, I think, with either quarterback. Now, I do believe there's a narrative around Tony Romo that's unfair to Tony Romo. We haven't seen Dak Prescott do things late in games. Tony Romo, despite what you think of him, Tony Romo is exceptional late in games. He hasn't won playoff games. I'd still trust Romo. But what we know right now is that Dak Prescott is very clearly and obviously the quarterback of the future. They've got to pay Tony Romo for 2 more years. But after that, this is going to be Prescott's team.
Oh, yeah. Romo's done in this town. They're just going to let him keep on coming to work if it helps the large operation.
Remember when everyone was saying that any Patriots quarterback could do what Tom Brady does?
I feel like that really isn't everybody they're talking about right there. They're kind of talking about us. And we didn't exactly say anybody could do what Tom Brady did. But damn, man, Jimmy Garoppolo was out there balling with no Gronk. Now Brady's back. They have Gronk. And guess what? They are balling. And Tom Brady is great. He is still great. We don't know how long he is going to ultimately wind up being great. He looks that good right now. But if you want me to apologize to him, I feel like you need to go about it in a different way.
We've got Gronk the last 2 games catching more yards than he has in any 2-game span ever. This is the greatest tight end any of us have ever seen, as I've said before, a polar bear that the Patriots have trained to catch footballs. But what you've got happening right now with Tom Brady that is scary, I'm watching that game yesterday, and through the first quarter, the Patriots don't look right. They've got 3 points. He's scrambling around. He can't find anybody. And then they win by 18 at home, make it look easy as he has 6 incompletions. They looked bad for a quarter yesterday, and it doesn't matter.
And look what he has this year that he hasn't had in a while. He's had 1 real threat to throw the ball to. Now he's got a second one, another big old polar bear type. It helps a lot.
You know, I'm not convinced yet. You know, I mean, I'm telling you something. They just beat the Browns and they beat the Bengals. You know, I mean, they're not competitive teams. They are at the bottom of the pile.
They do have 2 wins between them. I mean, but he does look great against those teams that have 2 wins between them.
He could only play against those 2 teams. Those were the ones on the schedule.
Yeah, Carson Wentz, by the way, we got all hopped up about him with the Browns. The last 2 weeks have been kind of cold water, you know?
Can the Steelers survive without Big Ben?
How many horse tranquilizers do you think he got at halftime yesterday? I mean, I don't want to mean to be reckless about this, but he limps off and then he plays the entire second half with a torn meniscus. He's only going to be out a short time because he's Big Ben, and he'll be out there in Week 9 in a wheelchair and a dialysis machine if he has to be out there. Week 9, they've got to bye after they lose to the Patriots this week. They'll be fine because they're very good, and he's going to come back in an unreasonable amount of time.
Also of note, somehow the Steelers work magic tricks with some of the worst backup quarterbacks that we've ever seen. We saw them win games with the shell of Michael Vick. We've seen them win games with Landry Jones. We saw them win games with Dennis Dixon. I don't even remember the rest of the sorry quarterbacks they trotted out there when Ben Roethlisberger got suspended one time. Somehow they find a way to keep going even without him. They can't win a Super Bowl without him, but they can survive assuming he comes back. The problem is it's a meniscus, and the range of time you might miss with a meniscus is like 3 days to 3 years. There's no way to guess from here.
But if it's Ben Roethlisberger, it's 3 minutes. And Charlie Batch, I think you forgot Charlie Batch. That was one of my favorites. They won with Charlie Batch.
So you mean to tell me that the Patriots are going to play the Steelers without Big Ben?
Yes.
Oh, man, Brady gets all the breaks,
Yeah, right.
and then they say he's the best of them all.
Right. I mean, my father was just saying, beat somebody who matters. Pittsburgh with whoever's going to be their quarterback isn't going to be that.
I guess now that Aaron Rodgers isn't playing well, he's moved his hatred on to another star quarterback.
Weird.
Did the Falcons get hosed by the ref?
I occasionally try to give you guys a bit of warning that the Falcons will only end their seasons in heartbreak for those who chose to give their hearts to them. If you choose to put your money on the Falcons, I feel like that's your own fault too. But man, they looked really competitive out there against Seattle, didn't they? They looked like they had a chance to win against Seattle, didn't they? They looked like they were going down the field, getting the ball to Julio to get that field goal. And then Richard Sherman playing defense like Anthony Mason. Let me just hold your arm down here right fast. You only need one. You're so good. All you need two hands for it. He almost caught it, by the way. Yes, the Falcons got hosed. However, I never told you how the disappointment would come. I just told you that it would come. All that was the referees working as agents of the universe to let you know this ain't about to happen.
The margin of error in that league and the margin for winning is fairly amazing to me, because you realize on a subjective call like that all of us kind of think was pass interference outside of Seattle. If they get that and then make the field goal, what we'd be talking about today is Seattle disintegrating on the sidelines, Richard Sherman and his teammates all yelling at each other, Richard Sherman getting beat on the final play of the game. We'd be talking about this, but because a referee didn't make a call, Seattle's no better or no worse than they were without that call. Because a referee did not make that call, all of a sudden we're talking about the karmic universe in Atlanta being, the gods are against Atlanta instead of that.
I would also like to note, by the way, Richard Sherman really getting in Cam Chancellor's face, as I would if I had on pads and he did not. I am very curious as to whether this goes the same way when they're square up, because I wouldn't do that.
I did love how Seattle reacted to that. Did you guys see later in the game the way Seattle reacted to one of these controversies that we make too much of? This is what they did around Richard Sherman with Cam Chancellor still there, but Richard's not finding any of it funny. Why? Because Julio Jones is still on the other sideline.
Does the Texans comeback win means that Brock Osweiler isn't so bad?
Man, you're a special kind of bad when Tony Dungy's ripping you on the broadcast. Tony Dungy doesn't do a whole lot of that. And Tony Dungy was saying Brock Osweiler is missing because he keeps checking down. He doesn't want to go down the field. He's ruining DeAndre Hopkins. They won last night. They came back late. They came back with 3 minutes left in the game from 2 touchdowns, which nobody tends to do. But I feel like the Texans have wasted a lot of money in a quarterback who's not very good.
Okay, they're only going to have to deal with Osweiler this year and next year. They'll really be able to cut bait after that. However, if you're Bill O'Brien, you have to be considering this. Few things will get you fired as a head coach faster than being, say, an offensive head coach and you have a bad offense. They have the worst offense in the NFL. They looked a little better against the Colts, but the reason their offense looks so bad, Brock Osweiler is their quarterback. They spent $18 million a year to get worse from what they had with Brian Hoyer. That's what happens when your head coach and your quarterback don't meet before signing. Bill O'Brien might get taken down by a dude he never talked to before he wound up trusting his whole career with him.
Do you know who is really happy that Brock Osweiler stinks? Peyton Manning. He said, I told you so, this guy was no good. I told you he stinks. I have been saying this for a long time now. He stinks. They give him a lot of money for nothing. He got a lot of money for stinking.
It is worth noting that the Broncos are like, yo, Trick Neck, come in here and win this Super Bowl. You, young guy, fully functioning, out of town.
He should have never replaced me.
Oh, wow, he's still in character. He's like a method actor. He's deep in character.
Coming up next on Highly Questionable, the Cubs, they can't hit and they're choking. That's all.
Ah, there it is.
1-0. Are you kidding me?
Come on.
There you go. Playing against one of the best pitchers of a generation. You choke because you couldn't get hits.
2 hits.
What are you going to do, Walt? What's your answer now? 1-0, 1 seat, nada. It is Monday. Time for more football.
Oh, yeah.
Does it even matter that Colin Kaepernick struggled yesterday?
Well, I guess there are a couple of levels on which we could evaluate this. If you're the 49ers, does it matter that Colin Kaepernick struggled? Not so much. He's not Blaine Gabbert. Torrey Smith caught a long touchdown pass. You're like, see, I've been telling y'all I've been open. Of course, we're asking if it matters because this is Colin Kaepernick, now a revolutionary hero of sorts, getting back into the NFL. The scene outside in Buffalo was ugly. The scene inside was pretty ugly. The guy who handled all of this better than anybody else did, Colin Kaepernick. No, he did not play that well on the field, but this other stuff that he's taken on, how in the world does he become the hero we needed, even if he's the one we didn't want?
We are talking about Colin Kaepernick a lot these days as a symbol, but man, that team is dreadful. Teams in the NFL don't generally lose the way San Francisco is losing by these giant point margins, and he's one of the great conundrums in the history of the NFL at that position. I thought at the time that Colin Kaepernick was a better bet than Russell Wilson when they were coming up together. His disintegration is a huge bafflement to me. As a symbol, he's important, but as a quarterback, he doesn't seem to be any good.
Think about this, too. In 2012, we thought that Kaepernick was the future, that Trent Baalke was a great executive, and that Chip Kelly is a genius. They're now all together now stinking.
Hey, how about giving some credit to the Ryans brother? You know, I mean, they are turning that Buffalo franchise around.
Yo, ESPN's got the fancy number, the football percentage index. Buffalo is number 3. I don't understand either.
Does last night mean that Clayton Kershaw is close now?
Oh, you think I forgot what y'all used to call him, Clayton Manning, because y'all was saying he was so good in the regular season, then he gets to the postseason, and then he couldn't do it anymore. Kershaw gives himself a series-clinching save. He comes out here last night, 7 innings, balling, and now you want to say Clayton Kershaw's clutch. The only thing that's changed between now and when you thought Clayton Kershaw was a choker is that now he's got a manager who'll come out there and say, I know you're Clayton Kershaw, but you got to come out of the game. If Don Mattingly had done this in a couple of games before, Kershaw doesn't have the 2 bad innings that are the ones that make you think that he's not clutch.
His ERA, though, in the postseason is still over 4, and that's 2 runs worse than it would be under normal circumstances. He's not the same, or he hasn't been the same pitcher in the postseason that he is during the regular season. But what he's done the last couple of days has to get off him the idea that he doesn't want the ball or that the pressure gets to him when he's overriding his manager on 1 day's rest, when his manager is saying, you aren't pitching in this game, and he's saying, yes, I am, and finishing off the Nationals. When he's doing what he did last night on 2 days' rest. This guy isn't afraid of these situations. He might not be what you want him to be in these situations, but it's not because he's afraid of them.
I can't believe you guys ignoring the facts that the Cubs, you know, they can hit and they're choking. That's all.
There it is.
I mean, you know, 1-0. Are you kidding me?
Come on.
There you go. Playing against one of the best pitchers of a generation. You choke because you couldn't get hits.
2 hits.
What are you going to do, Wilbon? You know, what's your answer now? You know, 1-0, 1 seat, nada.
I do think Wilbon would have looked as good as anybody else in the lineup if he had played.
The Jose Bautista comment actually deserved the ire he drew from the Indians.
Yeah, Toronto's down 2-0 to Cleveland in this series. People typically don't handle those things very well. Jose Bautista was asked about it, and he went all C-O-N-spiracy. You can look at it right here. He says this is really happening because of Canada. This is a big thing. Like, a big part of it is he feels like they don't treat him right because they are a Canadian team, and he blames it on circumstances. That's the key word he uses here is circumstances, and the good folks in Cleveland are like, yo, we got your circumstances right here. It's Corey Kluber, it's Andrew Miller, and
the rest of their pitching staff.
Bob Feller, he's up there in the corner.
The rest of those guys.
Tom Candiotti right there in the middle.
Bauer, the guy who got injured, starts tonight, got injured by his own drone. That doesn't happen very
Charles
often.
Nagy.
Those are circumstances, by the way. Being injured by your own drone is a circumstance that has befallen Bauer. Here's what you've got with Jose Bautista. You've got a guy who hasn't hit all season, who hasn't hit in the postseason. He's in a contract year, and it's a whole lot easier when your signature moment this season is being punched in the face by somebody from the Texas Rangers to blame everybody except the mirror.
Does Nigel Hayes deserve praise or criticism for his game day sign?
Nigel Hayes plays for Wisconsin. I understand Wisconsin basketball players. You may mix him up with another one from a previous year. They don't have names on their jerseys. I get them confused all the time. Anyway, where they had the team with Kaminsky and Decker, Nigel Hayes was this guy. I'm sure you'll understand how he stands out. He was at College Game Day. He says he's a broke college athlete. Anything helps. It's a Venmo account that's attached to that. Understand he's talked about this issue before, about players not getting paid. He talks right here about the numbers. The Big Ten making $400-something million, and they say they don't have enough to pay them. The comma's in a bad place, but I feel like this isn't the time to nitpick. Yes, I am with him for doing this. I mean, number one, the cause is pretty straight ahead, right? These guys get exploited. They generate so much more money than the scholarship actually covers. The other thing for me, it was a week or two ago, some kid got on game day with a sign saying he needed beer money. Everybody thought that was so cute, and people kept sending him beer money. Why would that kid be cute and this one be a problem?
Can I say something to the viewers? I just started the Venmo account.
There we
you
go.
know, it says, you know, Papi, this is Papi account. Send money. I need it right away. I need it now, you know?
It's not very clever. It's just straight up a direct edict.
Sounds like you just opened a church.
I don't know what just happened there.
On the block twice. Ran off on the block twice. Ran off on the block twice. Ran off on the block twice. Highly questionable is broadcast from the Clevelander Hotel on beautiful South Beach, Miami. Time to play the game that misplaces dignity this weekend. Do you
You
question?
give us topics and events, and we question them.
Do you question if KD is already too cocky?
This is fun here. He went there, at least in part, because he'd get a lot of open shots in Golden State, and basketball would be fun to him. Look, this looks like he's having fun the way the Warriors tend to have fun, which is open from 30 feet, shooting, and I'm walking away.
Oh, it's already started.
Yep.
It's already started.
Yes, shooting from that distance.
I'm about to say people thought Brady, like, hey, Brandon Ingram, they say you me. Go get it out the net, boy.
Man, we can make fun of the cockiness if you want, but how about we celebrate the idea that this extraterrestrial can actually do that at that size from that spot on the floor? Do you realize how ridiculous that is?
I will say, it's hard to say he's too cocky when the shot actually goes in. Like, I generally don't mind these things, but this will be your reminder. Usually, this team is really hated for doing these sorts of things if it's anybody else. It's only really going to hit this stride about the All-Star break this year with these guys because y'all are going to hate how good they are. I might too.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see him doing it in the big game.
All right. Yeah, he's not likely to do that in a Game 7, right? We'd all like to see him do it in a Game 7.
Oh, no, it's still going to be the same in the playoffs. Him in the quarter and somebody bear hugging him and him having no real recourse for it.
All I'm saying is the last time we saw the Warriors playing, they weren't doing that in Game 7. They were giving the trophy on their home floor to the guys on the other side.
Last time we saw him in Game 7, he was giving it to the Warriors. So, you know.
Yeah, that too.
Do you question the behavior of Alabama's backup running back?
I guess we're talking about Bo Scarborough. Clearly, I didn't watch the Alabama game, but he's their backup running back. What do we have?
5 seconds on the play clock. Hands it to his tailback.
He's a giant human, by the way, in case you did not know. Look at that score also.
Oh, man, but how is someone that big, that much faster than all the small people? Oh, wait a minute. Was that a fake hamstring injury?
Oh, he gave him the head to the face.
Wait a minute. There's a lot to be covered here.
Oh, he wanted some dap. And my man didn't give him any dap because they're losing 49-10 and you play for Alabama.
Hold on a second. I want to go back for a second. Look at when someone came up with a mysterious hamstring injury at the 2-yard line after not being able to chase down the guy who's much faster than him. Here's 22. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Oh, come on, man. How you know he's not hurt? How you know he's not hurt?
He might be hurt, but that's his pride talking.
If I were that fan, this is what I would have done.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, right across his helmet.
Yeah. Let me tell you this. If you want to use that technique, it better end the exact same way. Because if you slap Bo Scarborough in the face and he does not fall down, woo.
I feel we just saw a replay of what Alabama did to Tennessee on Saturday.
Time to play the game that doesn't leave too much to the imagination. See? Or no?
Tell us what's on television tonight. He'll forever be intrigued.
On ESPN, Monday Night Football, Jets and Cardinals.
Sure, I'll partake in some of this, but here we've got some footage for you of Patrick Peterson. He's a very good cornerback for the Cardinals. Let's see what he did last time out.
Taylor steps up, airing it out, and it is Patrick Peterson.
Oh, wow, he got that. That's pretty good right there. That's not easy to do.
2-foot possession all the way through the
Yeah.
process.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Wow.
Man, we got to this a couple of weeks late. We just given you that, not right on it as a show. Bomani, are you intrigued?
I am intrigued because we all know there's a distinct possibility the Jets are going to get smoked. They put Eric Decker on IR. They're going all the way across the world to play this game, which means tomorrow's television show could be fantastic. Because nothing makes better television than terrible Jets.
Poppy, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. I'm telling you something. You know who's going to be hard to trot in that game? Geno Smith, buddy. Geno Smith is going to be hard have to throw. He's on that bench waiting for Fitzpatrick to just fall down, and then he's going to pick up the pieces. I'm going to surprise everybody. Geno Smith. That's the man I'm betting on.
Only if Fitzpatrick dies. They left him out there for 6 picks. Geno ain't coming in the game unless Fitzpatrick dies. And then they'll cancel the game because Fitzpatrick just died.
Why am I laughing at that?
Tonight on Viceland, Desus and Mero.
Some new voices, some fun voices. I'd normally be interested, but I don't like the person producing the television show. Viceland's okay, but they got a showrunner. He's a jerk. Let's see what we've got here.
Young chicken.
Smells good, man.
Yo, you know what's about to be great? TV show.
Yeah. It's like this. It's spicy.
Uh-huh.
You get it at night in the dark. There's a lot of smoke involved.
It's true.
Plus, it's 4 nights a week, so if you don't like it Monday, maybe Tuesday's better. If Tuesday's not good, Wednesday's better.
Try Wednesday.
If Thursday's not good, that's your problem,
That's your
because we're giving you fire stuff. And if you don't like it, get the stick out your butt.
Ah, man, it looks like a lot of fun. But Monty, are you intrigued? My father's giggling over here. He
You're
wants
on
to be there.
television, fellows. Open your eyes. I can't see your eyes. Why aren't your eyes open?
Smoke, a lot of smoke. Poppy, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. Anything I gotta do with the food, barbecue food, smoke food, whatever it is, I got it in. I'm telling you
All right.
something,
Very good.
Yeah, it's not smoke food. It's smoke, comma, food.
Smoke food, yum.
Yeah. Though smoke food would be delicious.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching.
Back tomorrow. We appreciate you always watching.
Gracias. See you mañana.
You mean to tell me that some people smoke before they go on TV, not after?
Did Mamani just blow spit in my face laughing at that?
Didn't see it coming.